Hey, I'm Jacob.
And I'm Evan.
All topics presented in this podcast are highly likely to contain spoilers.
We tell you this as a courtesy to you, the listener, so that we may not ruin any movies or shows for you.
Thank you for listening.
This has been your spoiler warning.
Welcome to Star Wars In Depth. Today we're talking about the Clone Wars movie. I got Evan with us as usual.
Heyo!
And today we have a guest, Marcel.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Awesome. All right. So Evan and Marcel, you both do not have notes, correct?
Yeah.
All right. We both.
Sounds about right.
We've all seen this, at least part of it, Marcel, and we are going to just go through my notes. I guess I'll go ahead and direct the conversation.
Before we start that,
Oh, sure. What's up?
I would just like to point out that with this movie, a lot of it is out of order. So it's when they created the movie and show, they came out with the episodes, and then I don't know if they just kind of jumbled them up or what the deal was. But so this movie actually takes place further along into the show. There are some episodes that predate this movie. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what they are. But just keep that in mind. I recommend to Jacob to do this before we start into the TV show, because this is the introduction to one of the main characters in the show. So when you guys get onto the TV show and you start watching, you actually know how she kind of got introduced. So.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. That's good to cover. I remember you saying that. I just kind of forgot about it.
And I also want to mention something real quick.
What?
These guys have a Discord, right? You guys have...
Yeah, we've been promoting that too. If you guys want a more direct way to give input and feedback and just see updates and what's all going on, we do have a Discord. And yeah.
And also on that Discord channel, Jacob is posting his notes, yeah?
Yes, yeah, I have a supporting documents channel on there.
Yeah.
And
so after we release an episode, like when we released Attack of the Clones, I believe you've posted your notes on that already, or not yet?
Nope, I did. I do have them up.
Okay, so yeah, you guys can kind of see the way he takes notes, and it's kind of how we direct our conversations as we go through. So it's just a nice little supporting document you guys can check out.
Yeah, yep.
I think I accidentally downloaded those.
I mean, not a bad thing, right?
No, I mean, I can view it. It's just I accidentally hit the download button.
Yeah, cool. Well, they're coated with malware, so enjoy that, buddy. Anyway, let's start off our notes. Let's see. Starting off in the intro, we have Jedi generals failing to gain on the Outer Rim, right? That's kind of the scene that's been set. You know, they're trying to... Obviously, it's a war. The Separatists and the Republic are trying to gain different planets under their...
Yeah,
what would you call that?
That really sets the tone for this movie, I guess.
Right.
And as it mentions right there in the introduction as well, with the whole thing with Jabba the Hutt's son getting kidnapped, you know, that whole the Jedi are kind of losing ground thing that they spin there just ties in, and it kind of points that, you know, people, or I guess life forms like Jabba, do own huge sections of space that are needed to really aid in this war effort.
Right.
Because this is not just for like this chunk of space where we see the movie taking place. Like, this is around the whole galaxy. The Republic is losing ground at this early stage in the war. So
yeah, and I just want to throw in there and do a quick interjection, like, to the audience real quick. If you did not hear that can opening, that would be one step closer to hearing from Bud. So anyway, am I wrong in that?
No, I don't think you are wrong on that.
All right.
I do have a note on that intro too.
Thought you said you didn't have notes.
No, I have a note on that intro.
Oh, okay.
Like in the beginning, it doesn't do that whole dialogue pan that it usually does in the movies. Yeah. Kind of don't like that. You know, I'd like to see what they actually did in an actual.
Yeah. Well, that whole dialogue at the beginning of the 9 movie, that is solely for the 9 movies, you know. So like there's Solo movie and Rogue One, and even this movie, these are supposed to be more like, you know, how Solo, the Star Wars story, is kind of like what these are. So they saved that big introduction, that spanning of, you know, kind of that telling us what's happening. They saved that for those 9 movies, kind of like that trademark, I guess.
Okay.
I will point out though that I think it did it at the beginning of this one. I know it does it for every single episode of the TV show. They'll post kind of like a quote of the day, if you will.
Oh yeah, yep.
So I mean that's kind of their way of, I guess, replacing it for the TV show at least. I don't know if they do that for the Rebels TV show or not. I can't remember off the top of my head. Gotcha. But they kind of did a little fill for that with the TV show.
So we're talking about, you know, the Separatists and the Republic. What exactly are the beliefs of the Separatists? Like, what's their kind of cause and goal?
So the majority of the Separatists, so the Separatists have their own Senate, they have their own whatnot, their own court system. Their belief, more or less, is that the Republic is treating them unfair. They don't think the Republic is working. They think they're doing it wrong. So they're trying to leave the Republic, or in this case, they have left the Republic, and basically trying to form their own government type of issue that's going on here. Kind of like the whole Civil War. North, South had their own government, but there was a war that happened, obviously, all that. But once you get into those higher leaders in the Separatists, like Newt Gunray and Count Dooku, and some of those other leaders that we see, theirs is more of just getting control, taking power, getting rich, more or less. Count Dooku, not so much, because, you know, he's a Sith, so his is more of on the terms of destroying the Jedi. That's more or less the viewpoints of the Separatists.
Okay.
From their senators all the way up to their military leaders.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, moving a bit along, you know, we see that Jabba's son is kidnapped. I mean, it said it in the intro, you know, given a brief summary, but then now we see that by some, like, ship that looks like a friggin' squid that comes in, wraps around it, and takes him. You know, and then the Jedi are called to help. They're very wary, though, because the Hutts are a crime syndicate, and we talked about this in a previous thing, what exactly the Hutts are. But, you know, that. And the whole tactical advantage to helping the Hutts would be that they control the major, like, travel way, the trade routes would be beneficial to the Republic in their wars.
Yeah. And really, I don't think a lot of people realize how major that trade route is, because there's actually maps and whatnot of the Star Wars galaxy. If you look at it, the Hutts own a decent chunk in the outer rim of space, and they patrol that with their own ships and whatnot. And so if the Jedi are not able to get the trade route, they have to go a long ways out of their way. They have to take a huge detour, I guess, just to supply their troops in other sectors. So this trade, it is when they say major in the introduction, it is a major trade during this war.
Okay. That was my main concern too, because I had a note where they gave up being like the best heroes just to help out like a villain basically, and when they could just go one direction, like in light speed, and then stop, go the other direction, light speed, and then stop. And
yeah, exactly, yeah. And it did mention, I don't know if you have a note on this or not. It did mention that crime is increasing throughout the galaxy because of this war. And again, I just want to emphasize that that's not just in this sector, this section of space that we're seeing. That's around the entire galaxy on thousands of different planets. Crime is increasing because, as we know, Jedi were the defenders of peace. When there's a conflict, typically a Jedi is sent to a big conflict, I guess. A Jedi is sent to deal with it. And so this crime that's rising is not just around like Tatooine and the Teth system, which we see in this movie. It's very prevalent around the entire galaxy.
Okay. Yeah, I actually did not pick up on that. So that's good. Good that you You did, Mr. Star Wars guru. So Yoda is sending a messenger to Master Kenobi. Kind of picked up on who that was. Eventually we see her, but either way, it just mentioned at that point. We are introduced to Rex and Cody. Very big, characters.
Love Cody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're very prevalent within the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Cody, once you get into episode 3, you see him kind of as more of a background character. But this is more or less their introduction. Because if I'm not mistaken, this movie did come out for the TV show.
Yeah.
They are definitely, they play major roles in the Clone Wars, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did it in Revenge of the Sith too. Like that, they were in my major parts of that movie as well. I'm not gonna spoil it. But I love
Cody. Yeah, Cody was. We don't. We'll not go into Revenge of the Sith because we'll cover at a later date. Cody was there in Revenge of the Sith as well.
That's the only way I remember that name.
Also introduced. I don't know if anybody really caught it, if they've watched it beforehand, or if you guys caught it. But we're also introduced to Admiral Yularen.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually he's the older guy. He's not a clone. He's the older guy on the cruiser.
Oh yeah, is he the one with the? It's the narrator that voices him.
I believe so. Yeah.
Like it has to be. It's so similar to the in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like.
So we're introduced to him. Kind of a brief introduction. You just kind of see him for. We don't really see him a whole lot throughout the movie. But Yoda tells him, we gotta get this messenger down to Obi-Wan and Anakin to let them know what's going on. And he's, I guess rightfully so, worried about, resupplying, getting fresh troops. Because, again, I don't know if a lot of people pick up on this or not, but throughout this entire war, the Republic is heavily outnumbered. The separate droids that get assembled en masse in foundries all across the galaxy, and the Jedi are basically relying on one planet, Kamino, to produce all of their clones.
Yeah.
And so the Republic is heavily outnumbered throughout the entire war. So, getting those relief supplies and getting more troops down to their surface of the planets they're fighting on and relieving the troops that are already on there that are, battle-worn and tired and need some rest is a very big issue throughout this war. And Admiral Yularen's more so pointing that out to Yoda. And I think it's kind of a whack on Yoda's part that he just says, "Oh, well, that's too bad. Take this messenger now."
Yeah.
I don't know in reality how long it would have taken. They would have waited, a couple more hours. They could have at least gotten some supplies on there, gotten some more troops on there, which would have been, I think, a big game changer for Anakin and Obi-Wan there on the planet's surface.
So, yeah. My next note is just pointing out, though, that I never understood walkers. Like, they got hover ships and other things that roll. Like, why do they have big mechanical walkers? Like, I just feel like that is limiting. But I'm not, truly complaining because it's whatever. Yeah. It's kind of cool. But I made that note. I'm like, I never understood this.
Well, Gage actually kind of asked a similar question when we were watching The Mandalorian the first time.
Oh, yeah?
And this is not a spoiler by any means, but at some point in the show, the Mandalorian has to take an actual creature to get to one of his objectives, and is told he cannot take a speeder bike or a hover bike.
Yeah.
And so in answer to both those questions, really, you have to use something that has legs and on some of this terrain, just because, a hover bike or hover tank, whatever you want to call it, is all based on the ground underneath.
So
if the ground
fair.
is not very level, it's going to throw it off and jolt it and whatnot.
So it's kind of like the Oppressor Mark II on GTA. Like, you ever so closely get to a wall and it'll just shoot up and flip you off. It's it's just the terrain that it's if you had a hover, it could just,
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. What was that, Marcel?
Sorry, I had a note on that. One thing that really drug me into this and into the show was in the movies are great, don't get me wrong, but they're mainly just Jedi versus like Sith, and you never get to see the actual battles. I like this because, like, in the video game perspective, you can be any one of these characters / clones or any one of these droids. Like, I like seeing different like types of them instead of in the movies. They only show them once or twice and then they're done. This one continually shows you new ones and stays with the old ones as well.
Yeah,
I agree. Kind of like especially with the different versions of like droids. You got like the basic, just droid, and then you got super battle droids and spider droids and droidicas for that. Yeah.
It also, I know all the clones are their clones. They look alike. You see it more in the TV show. It shows off their own like unique personalities and their different approaches to stuff, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, like some of them are very strategic, smart, and just awesome. And then at about 5 minutes and 7 seconds, you got the dude who run up to a droid and punched him in the face and broke his hand.
Is that Kobe? Is that Cody in the beginning?
It was not. It was not, because he was killed right after.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I think his gun gets shot out of his hand. He just punches the.
He just. Yep, exactly.
What kind of training you get?
Yeah. Or you have that clone. It's not too much further on, but I think Obi-Wan's like attack or like gives a command, and the clone like jumps up. Come on, and then just gets his head blown off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very dark.
Yeah. And but then we move along a little bit. A ship lands. Ahsoka is introduced. And she immediately starts actually giving good suggestions. She's kind of like, well, why don't we do this? And Obi-Wan and Anakin are like, yeah. Or like,
one thing I would like to point out about Ahsoka is that throughout this entire movie and a lot of the TV show, she is just like sassy.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, he even gives her the nickname Snips because she's so freaking snippy.
What's with that nickname? Oh,
she's snippy. She's sassy and snippy. Yeah.
Well, I know she called him like
Sky Guy.
Other nickname. Sky Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did not like that.
Throughout the entire thing, she's just like, she's sassy. She's a little sass in her voice. She always has like a comment to make, which I just think is hilarious, personally.
Yeah.
But you gotta admit, like the first time they introduced her, Anakin was just straight a douche the whole way. I don't know. Is it like an honor to get a Padawan next to you? Is that an honor? Because it seems like he didn't like it.
It's more so like. So
just an added responsibility.
Anakin believed that the Padawan was for Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And the Padawan shows up, Ahsoka shows up and says, actually, Skywalker. And so he's just like, the heck? Like, I did not put in a request to be, a teacher. I'm not here to teach. I'm here to lead these troops to try and end this war.
Yeah, but I figured, isn't that like an higher opportunity for him to, at least branch out from the Jedi that he follows and be his own, like, a master.
Actually, okay, so that actually, I think, I didn't think about it from that perspective, but wouldn't that be an honor? Like, you're trusted with teaching another? Like, isn't that like some prestige kind of thing?
Honestly, not really with the Jedi. I mean, once you become a Jedi Knight in the Jedi Order, I think there's kind of like a leeway time, but like after that time is up, any Jedi Knight can get an apprentice. They simply have to put in a request for one, and then from there the council determines, do they have enough experience to teach? Are they knowledgeable enough to teach? I guess like kind of stuff on that. But any Jedi Knight can request to have an apprentice. And just real quick, one thing that Gage just pointed out to me, I don't know if you guys said it or not, but in this movie at least, and in the TV show, she calls Anakin Master Skywalker. I would just like to point out that Anakin is not a Jedi Master. That's simply a term that an apprentice would use, or a Padawan would use, to refer to their teacher.
Okay. Well, So my next note, that guy, I forget what you said his name was, but he was the one with the same voice as narrator, and he looks like Howard Stark. What was that guy's name?
Admiral Yularen.
Admiral Yularen. Okay.
And I would just like to point out that it has been confirmed that Admiral actually in A New Hope on the Death Star. Just want to point that out.
Huh.
Since
Ned Stark.
And once we get to that movie, we can talk. Just put that out that he is actually in more than just the TV show.
Sure. He straight up looks like Tony Stark's dad. Like, honestly, I noticed that and I'm like, oh
yeah.
But anyway,
Pointed out.
Yeah, we hold on. We also then get introduced to Ventress. I don't know much about her. I have a thing later on kind of questioning like her backstory. But do you know any of it, Evan?
Yeah, and some of it does get covered later on in the TV show.
Okay.
But I will say this much, I guess. She is from Dathomir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For those that have played the Star Wars Fallen Order game,
Yes.
you can actually go to Dathomir in that game. That is the planet she is originally from.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Here's a question about that after you finish. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And so on that planet, you have what are called the Night Sisters. You'll get interested in them and learn more about them in the TV show. And basically that planet is split up into two based on gender. So like males stay in one. They have like villages and whatnot throughout the planet. And females generally are sent to the Night Sisters to learn magic or the Force, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
And so that's where Ventress is originally from, and Count Dooku goes there and basically buys her more or less.
I thought they betrayed her. Sisters.
No, I'd have to rewatch and do a little research on that, but I don't believe so. But he basically gets her as his own personal assassin, training her as an apprentice. But yeah, that's how I guess Ventress comes into, I want to say the employment, but lack of a better term right now, employment of Count Dooku and the separate.
Yeah. Okay. While I was watching this, they brought up Dathomir, and I just bought Fallen Order last night, and I've been playing the heck out of it, and they brought it up there. And I was like, trying to think, I'm like, where have I heard that before? What other significance does Dathomir have?
Dathomir?
Yeah. Like, I feel like there's something else to it that I've read about or heard, and it rang some significance to me, and I could not figure out why, because I don't remember it being in the movies. Maybe.
It's not in any of the movies.
I don't recall where I would have heard that from then.
No, it's not in any of the movies. The only time you really hearing Dathomir is in the TV shows, and in the new Jedi Fallen Order.
Huh. I don't know. Okay. Well, I recognized it, and I didn't know how or why. But, yeah.
Isn't it like a Sith planet?
Guardians of the Galaxy?
It's not really it's not a Sith
planet. Wait. Hey, Gage, you said Guardians of the Galaxy. What, is there anything similar to that in that?
There's Dormu.
No, not Dormammu.
Dormu.
It does sound familiar from Guardians of the Galaxy.
That might be it, but I don't know. Well, eventually we'll cover that. Eventually we'll cover that when we cover Marvel, but
yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, moving along. Anakin has like a pretty big authority problem, like in a pride issue, I feel like. Just because she was like said something Sky Guy, and he just got mad because everybody was like laughing at him. But then I guess, go ahead.
That's just more on the terms of like respect, I guess.
I think it was, but I kind of drew that.
Even in the Jedi Order, there's still the whole rank structure and whatnot.
Yeah. And
she's just kind of undermining that by giving him a nickname and giving him sass and all that kind of stuff.
I guess you're
he
right.
doesn't want an apprentice at this time anyways.
Respect has to be given first. Like, he just came out the bat yelling at her for no reason.
Well,
like,
I kind of based it off of other elements too, but yeah, that might not be the best example actually, because yeah, you're right. I can see that being kind of more of a disrespectful kind of thing.
In that scenario or that instance, I would say that's more of why he gets lack of a better butt hurt. You know,
no, that makes sense. Anyway, though, I had a question about the energy shields. So the Separatists just like deploy them, and it's a major issue because now, well, they're protected, and so Anakin and Ahsoka go to destroy it in a bit. But I guess I was wondering, you know, how are like, you know, it's like lightsabers and blasters are energy. You know, they're concentrated energy fired away and sustained as a sword. Yeah. Why is it that energy shields, like, people can just walk through or get hit by and not get damaged?
I'm not 100% sure on the answer. I would say it's something along the lines of the way that energy is focused.
Okay.
Because as we see when they're firing the artillery, try and see if they can punch through the energy shield. You know, it stops the artillery, which is another form of energy. Those rounds. But I just think it's the way that the energy is focused within their different devices and weaponry and that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's mainly designed as like a shield for ground shoot, not really any like blasters or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because like blaster bolts wouldn't be able to go through the energy shield either.
Okay.
I think they focus it in a specific way that forms of energy cannot go through, like blasters. And if someone was hitting it with a lightsaber, the lightsaber wouldn't go through it. Well, I shouldn't say that. Potentially a lightsaber would, because we don't really know.
True. Well,
but it's
actually,
just like any other type of shield, I guess. You know, it's going to stop anything until you do enough damage to it.
You know, I kind of like want to know more about that, and I know that's probably not explained, and I certainly don't expect you to know, Evan. But like, you know, there's those energy shields, and we see them on the battle or the Gungans and the droids on Naboo. We see a bit of that, and then but it's like they're able to pass right through it. But then also you see those, like, you know, those separating barriers that Obi-Wan is trapped behind as Qui-Gon fights Maul. You know. So it's like there is difference, and it's just kind of like, well, but what? I don't know. That's just my curiosity spiking, but I don't expect answers.
Honestly, I'm sure with as big as Star Wars is, I'm sure there's something out that explains it.
Oh, probably.
I haven't found it. I would just say it's the way that the energy is used or the way it's filtered or, you know, something like that within the different mechanical devices they have.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Wikipedia just states that it's like a shield that only solid objects can pass through, like a ground shield. The blasters or any type of high energy source cannot go through it.
But I mean, then there again, it doesn't really explain the whole energy shields back in the with Obi-Wan being trapped behind him.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm sure you can find something out there.
I liked. Moving along though, you know, like I said, Anakin and Ahsoka, and we see them, you know, they're needing to go over, they need to destroy the shield generator so that, well, I mean, they can be on equal battlegrounds again, you know. It's like the Separatists are at an advantage there. I like how they're just like sneaking along though, like some Metal Gear Solid type crap. It's just like going under the box.
I would like to point out, because you mentioned equal ground or, you know, equal terms. And again, you wouldn't know this unless you've seen. At this point in the Battle of Christophsis, the Republic only has those 4 cannons. They have those 4 cannons. They have one AT-TE that we see briefly in one scene. And then a couple of those AT-STs, I believe they're called, that we see that go running out there and get blown up.
Oh.
And that's all they have left for armor-wise or artillery-wise.
Okay.
They don't have any air power left. And it actually does explain why that happens in a later TV show, in one of the later episodes, and I'll talk about it real quick just because it's relevant to this. Basically, a clone trooper betrays the Republic on Christosis earlier on during the siege. And basically puts explosives throughout their entire depot, destroying a lot of their equipment, a lot of their tanks, a lot of their scout units, their ships, all that kind of stuff. So the fact that the Jedi and the clones cannot use this artillery now with this energy shield being up is a major issue, because they don't have any other way to really keep the Separatists back unless they just want to sit there in a line and shoot at them, which, as we see, doesn't work out very well because they're heavily outnumbered.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So this energy shield is a lot bigger deal than they actually portray in the movie.
So I appreciated the scene just because it was funny to me, but the Ahsoka wasn't wanting to stay under that box, and she's just like, why do we have to keep under here? Can't we just run for it now? And Anakin's just like, because you never know what you're going to run into, and then proceeds to run into a droideka. Like, I just thought it was
really
funny.
ambitious. Like, she wants to jump into it right away. I love it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. She's just like, ready to go. She wants to prove herself. Let's get into the action. He's trying to explain to her more or less, like, you gotta take it slow, man. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. Anything, within a second, the entire situation can change. And I don't think she truly understands that until after, the battle here on Christosis.
Yeah. Okay. So it's jumping between scenes, obviously, of their mission, and then back to Obi-Wan, and then back to the clones, and just kind of, obviously, it just jumps between scenes, showing what's all going on in the moment. But it goes to Obi-Wan being captured, and there is this wild boar-looking dude that, whatever, he's in the tank, and he's like, surrendering and whatnot. They take his lightsaber. When he comes out, I just felt this frustration, I guess, in me, just because it annoyed me to that extent. This dude's freaking dumb kangaroo bunny looking droid. I hated it. I don't even know why. He comes waddling out. I'm like, what is this freaking thing? And like, it was just immediate negativity.
Yes.
I always found it funny that after that general comes out, the Force and makes him like a makeshift table and chairs. Like,
I loved that scene too. That was
just
good.
Have some tea, good old time.
Discuss the capture of us.
The terms of our capture. Yeah, and I have the note there is like, he's gonna negotiate terms of surrender with Obi-Wan, and then I made the note next to that, he's got something up his sleeve, and I love it.
I'm sorry, I just have to point out, we see it in the movies and whatnot. Obi-Wan is he's just like so calm and collected, like not really worried about what's gonna happen. If he is, he doesn't show it at all. He's just just there.
Yeah, it's kind of like Qui-Gon. I mean, we talked about that a bit. He was just so chill, and maybe that's just the Jedi in general. I don't think Anakin's mastered that, but like, really.
Well, can't they like sense if something bad's about to happen?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that could be. They kind of know what's coming, maybe, so they're just kind of like, I don't sense anything. This is cool. I don't know.
I'm gonna sit here and get some tea.
I would also like to point out, because I mentioned it in phones about in the movies, Anakin's just kind of they're whining and complaining.
Yeah.
And I think in this movie we actually see it better that that's not how he is all the time.
Yeah.
In this movie and in the TV show, we see him more as a general, someone fighting, someone that actually has skill. Whereas in the movies, in my opinion, we just kind of see him complaining and what.
Yeah, and actually, so with that, my next note, like it just minorly briefing, like kind of what's going on. The droids are triggered, and they come out and start like attacking Anakin and Ahsoka, and there's this whole thing where he's like, set the charges, focus on that, and then she turns around and like, fights the one, and it just sets off a bunch of others. Like there was an instant consequence. But my note was regarding what you said. I was like, I felt like this disturbance in me and kind of like this turmoil, because I'm like, I really like Anakin right now, but I know what comes of him, and I don't like that. I don't like starting to like the character knowing that everything is gonna turn.
Yeah,
I don't like that, but it's still
if you're
got me
feel that
watching.
way now, Jacob, just wait until you watch the rest of the TV show. Watch the TV show, because you see him. He's sorry, a badass.
Yeah,
sorry. He is like there's I don't have a better term for it. He shows you what's what. He's very skilled. He has a strategic mind. He's a very likable character in this movie shows. And like you said, it's kind of that like, oh, I really like him right now, but I know what happens.
Right.
Well, don't get me wrong. He's like good in the TV show. Like he follows the way, but in this, he just seems like a douche to me. Ahsoka will have one thing to say and backtrack it. Like I've seen the show. He just hates her in general for no reason. I think they maybe grow a bond later on, but
yeah,
that definitely changes in the show. I don't see that.
Yeah, in the movie, he like they play around. I saw racing. Not he just like he's straight upset with her and upset with the whole program they have him going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they disabled shields. Obi-Wan was stalling the entire time for that. And I like how it's when he admits, well, I was hoping that they'd have the shield down by now. That then it occurs. But then the Separatist army, or Armada, whatever, is in retreat. And after this, Anakin and Ahsoka have kind of this tender moment. Where they kind of like bicker and stuff before she's very rebellious in a way of like ambitious, I guess maybe could be a word for it. But they're sitting there and he's just like, you're reckless. You would have never made it as Obi-Wan's Padawan or apprentice or something. And then she just kind of like looks down like sad and stuff. And then he's like, but you just might make it as mine. It was just kind of a nice little scene, because he's like, all right, I'm maybe warming up to you,
Yeah, it's kind of like, he's kind of like, okay, I see some potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She whines and I whine. That's what it is.
Yep.
Because I would say, kind of going along with what you were saying, like, he is kind of a jerk to her up until this point. Some of it I would say is reasonably so. Like why are you being like that in the first place? But at this point, he lets his guard down. I think he kind of like looks at her and sees what she was able to do in terms of, I guess, listening to what he said, even if there were some bickering moments in there, and seeing that she is willing to listen, and he just kind of finally lets his guard down and is like, there might be something here. I don't know, but we'll give it a shot.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then so I noticed, Obi-Wan's got this ship and all the Jedis have like their fighter ships and stuff. And, I was wondering, is there a difference? Like, okay, so here's my whole thing about it. Like, I noticed that they've got that triangle type one. And then in episode 3 they have like actual fighters and stuff, and I'm just wondering, are they like different models or are they like serving different purposes? Like, because we see them in episode 3 as a fighter, but I just kind of wonder.
There's two different ships. You have that fighter in episode 3, and that's an actual like a Jedi fighter. The one that we saw here in this movie, and we have a version of it again in Clones. That's more of just like, I guess, maybe a scout ship or like
travel, just general travel.
Yeah, more of a travel ship. Whereas the one that we see in episode 3 is, you'll see it some in the TV show, is actually a Jedi fighter. It's meant for, space battles and that type of stuff. Whereas this one, it's got some weapons on it, but it's not necessarily meant for dogfights.
Yeah, okay.
Like, why do we only see like an aspect of ships movie? And like some of these, the Sith could have easily won with. Like, why do we only see them one time in the show? Why don't we see it in the actual, like all the clone stuff? Why don't we see that merged in with the movie?
Sorry, could you ask that again? I had trouble hearing you.
Yeah, like the like you said, that squid ship that came and took Jabba the Hutt's baby. Why do we only see that once? But like we can't like see it again. Like even in the show, they had like some pulse cannon that they only use once. Like why can't we just see that more?
So you'll see some of those different weapons in that squid-like ship. You'll see those again in the show. They do show up again throughout the show. So
I know. I mean, like in the actual movie itself.
Some of those, like those three-legged walkers that the droids have in this movie, you actually do see those in Revenge of the Sith. It's just for a brief moment, but you do see them. And so a lot of the vehicles and whatnot that you see in this movie and that you'll see in the TV show, most of them do appear in one of the movies. It might just be for a brief moment. Like if you blink, you'll miss it type. The whole squid ship thing, I don't remember seeing it in any of the movies. I don't know why we didn't see those in the movies unless they just kind of came up with it for the TV show. But some of those other vehicles you do see for brief.
I feel you.
Well, we go back to a scene with Jabba, just on Tatooine or whatever. He's just some things roll in and he's going all like freaking King Herod's wife on him and like got heads on platters and stuff. And it's just like, okay. But something that like bugged me, and I'm just like, Jabba's such a. It's just my note is they're referring to him, mighty Jabba, all powerful Jabba, as if that stupid slug could do anything. Like, it just annoyed me. What?
He can eat a cheeseburger.
Yeah, he is the Burger King. He is almighty. Oh, no copyright.
It's more of the fact that he doesn't have to personally do stuff. He has so much wealth, and he's such a prime lord. He can just pay anybody to do stuff for him.
Yeah, but still, it's just annoying to me.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, and then going back, they're in like a hangar or something, and you see those clone scouts that have the camouflage on them. I've always really liked them. I always liked them. I don't know why, but they're cool to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, and you actually I guess more in the game in different games like 2 games. You typically see that style of clone troopers, like the clone snipers, which you don't really see an actual like clone sniper in the shows and whatnot. Which I pointed in when they kind of say sniper in the shows, it's more of like, hey, get up on position, start shooting.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the games, those are typically that style of clone troopers, more of like your sniper with an actual sniper rifle.
I used to love that in Star Wars Battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to make a call here. Usually, well, actually, I'll ask your guys' opinion on this. I'm about midway in my notes, and we're at 45 minutes. Since we usually cap the episodes at about an hour, would you like to go that full hour and then just whatever's left is a shortened episode, or do you want to maybe stop it now and then, like, I'll say one more topic, we go there, and then end this episode? Like, and it'd probably be maybe 50 minutes, It's
let's see how long it takes to get to the end.
Yeah.
and then determine.
I'd say let's finish off at least this little battle here.
Because honestly, Jacob, if we split this into 2 episodes, like 45-minute episodes, you could end the first episode here while we're talking about it.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, I just have one more note. It's not necessarily a talking point. It was just a thing. And then I was going to say end it.
Yeah. So I'm saying, let's wait until we get through all the notes. And if it's like an hour and a half, then yeah, split it in 2. But if it's like I don't think it'd be like an hour and 10, but you know what I mean? Like, let's just get all the way through and then see how much time has gone by.
Okay. Sure, I guess. I mean, Marcel, does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, we'll do that then. We'll just go for it. So next note, I just have, those light speed adapters that the kind of travel ships use. We see in episode 2 and we see here. I always wonder, like, those probably have like a way of staying in place, but I'm just picturing like him just leaving it and then being on the planet, and later on you just see her like it just enters atmosphere and just blows up. Like, obviously it's kind of like building a space station and Space Engineers. Like, I imagine there's probably things in place to keep it in place, like a thruster or something, but like
I sit there imagining like Obi-Wan leaves right there to go down to the planet. And then, like, some smuggler or someone like that and takes it.
And just, like takes
similar
it.
to it. It's like, man, someone took mine. I need this. I'm taking... We was just stuck there.
Still Obi-Wan's. What?
Wait, what'd you say?
Like, just live streams it, like, oh.
He's just like, welcome back to another Morgs video. I'm gonna steal Obi-Wan's.
A little later.
It's so stupid. I do not like Morgs, but that was just anyway. He's just like Facebook living the entire thing.
Yeah.
Deuces.